Today I wanted to give you an update on what my jewellery collection is looking like currently, because it has definitely been expanding and now fills out these 3 different jewellery containers. I keep my everyday, more simple jewellery in this little Stackers travel case, which is pretty full of some of my everyday classic pieces. And then I have my main Stackers jewellery box, which has a little bit of the overflow. I don't want to drop it all out, so let me be careful when I lift this up. A little bit of the overflow. It has this clear top so I can see what's in there. Of the pieces that I don't reach for as often, some more statement earrings, bangles, things like that, but pieces obviously that I like to change out occasionally. And finally, I have this tray which carries my necklaces in these long dividers. So I have at least 1 necklace, sometimes 2 per little divider. So I've definitely got quite a big collection now. I have some favourite brands, some brands I will always go back to time and time again, but also I've been experimenting with newer brands, more indie brands recently as well. So I want to talk you through some of my favourite pieces, some of the pieces I wear every day or pretty much every day, and then some of the more statement items that I don't always wear, but for occasions or for special events, or just when I feel like it, I like to switch up for those as well. So I thought if you're looking for jewellery, if you're interested in jewellery, I will tell you a little bit about the history of these pieces as well. I started building my jewellery collection when I was about 18, at least in terms of finer jewellery. So this collection started 11 years ago now. So it's definitely not something that has grown overnight. It's something that I've added to slowly over time through gifts, through buying my own things, obviously working with brands on my YouTube channel as well. So it definitely is a work in progress. It's definitely something that takes a long time, but of course many of these pieces are going to last forever, especially the solid gold and sterling silver pieces. Before I get into my everyday jewellery in this small box here, I want to talk you through the jewellery I'm wearing, because this is some of my kind of everyday, almost I never take off jewellery. And these 2 pieces in particular are from Linjer, who are very kindly sponsoring this video. I especially love their solid gold range because I'm just in this era where I prefer to invest in solid gold jewellery. I just like the ability to not have to take it off when I'm showering, and I know it's not going to tarnish. I know it's still going to look good in 20, 50 years time. So solid gold tends to be my recommendation, although if you have a smaller budget, their gold vermeil and their sterling silver is absolutely stunning too, and I do have some pieces to show you from both of those collections as well. Now, I have spoken about this particular necklace a couple of times already on Instagram and on YouTube, but I had to mention it again because it is my favourite necklace. And this is a perfect example of a necklace that you can wear every day. You don't have to take it off because it is solid gold, and because it's a little bit shorter, this I think is on the longer setting. There's a couple of different settings you can have it on. So this is the longer one, but you could have it here on the shorter one. So it's a perfect necklace to layer longer pendant necklaces with. This is the Fleur necklace, 14 karat solid gold. I think this is a really reasonable price for what it is. And as I said, this is now a necklace I don't take off. If I want to add more onto my look, I can, but this one pretty much always stays on because it's so simple, it's so small, it's not too in your face. There's never an inappropriate time to wear this kind of necklace, in my opinion. So it is just one of my favorites, and look at the shine you get from that. I think it's just it's one of my favorites now in my collection. And these are also from their solid gold range as well. So they are solid 14 karat gold with a drop pearl on them, but I just want to check what the name of these ones are so I can tell you the correct information. So these ones are the Linjer 14 karat gold rice pearl huggy earrings. They're the Juliet style, and these retail at the moment for £210. Again, I think a really reasonable price for 14 karat solid gold and for these real pearls as well. And I think they go really well with this Fleur necklace from Linjer. So if you do like any of the Linjer pieces, whether it's these pieces I'm showing now or some of my older pieces that have been in my collection for years at this point, I do have a discount code. I will leave it on screen as well as in the description box. Make sure to use that if you are going to buy anything from Linjer. I can highly recommend them. They are my favourite jewellery brand to work with, and I'm so excited to be collaborating with them again and giving you a discount as well. So So as I said, this necklace is now never coming off. I shower in this, I swim in this, I sleep in it, I wear it every day, and I can layer it up with other necklaces if I like. The only other piece that doesn't really come off is a more recent addition. If you didn't see my life update on my community tab a couple of months ago, I did get engaged recently, so obviously my engagement ring is my other piece of jewellery that I do sometimes take this off for sleep and showering and things like that. I do tend to take it off, but it is on there every day, and if I want to layer up rings with the other pieces that I have that I'll show you in a second, this is always going to be there. So because for that reason, I always knew I wanted a really simple engagement ring, something that wasn't too fancy or too trendy, so I did just go with a diamond solitaire. Mine is an old European cut, so it is an antique diamond. It's about 100 years old. The band itself is new, it's modern, it's a knife edge band, which is why it has this kind of knife edge to it rather than just being flat. I really like the way that looks and kind of the modern feel it gives it, but I love that it's an antique diamond because in my opinion it is more ethical to get something that is, you know, has been reused and already loved and isn't freshly mined. And I love that it has the old European cut. It's slightly different to the traditional modern day brilliant cut that most modern day round diamonds would be. It has slightly different facets and therefore reflects the light in a slightly different way. It just looks slightly more unusual, and I really like that as well. So I'll show you in my Stackers little mini case. This could be a travel case. It's like a bigger travel case, so this I would take if I was going away for like a couple of weeks at least. I do have some smaller travel cases that I would take for weekends or week-long trips, but this would be really good if you wanted to take a little bit more. I will also leave all of the jewellery storage link down below as well if you're looking for a jewellery case, because I really like the kind of solution, the organisation I have at the moment. I feel like it works really well for me. So yeah, I'll leave those linked down below if you're interested. I think I'm going to scooch just a little bit closer. Hopefully I'm not too close to you. I don't want to give you a jump scare, but I want to show you some of these pieces up close. And I will do some cutaways as well. So in terms of my everyday pieces, a lot of these pieces are also from... Good start. A lot of these pieces are also from Linjer. That was my watch falling on the floor. A lot of them are also from Linjer. So I'll talk you through some of my other Linjer favourites as well. Rings wise, I feel like Linjer do some of my favourite rings in their solid gold range. They do some of the most beautiful designs. I think I'm going to show you, hopefully that is in focus, and then I'll show you a close up over here. This is, forgive me, I'm not going to know all the names of these off the top of my head, but I'll leave them on the screen. This one is an opal, I believe, with diamonds. Linjer only use lab diamonds, so if you're not buying antique diamonds, the other more ethical way to go is lab diamonds, and they use exclusively lab diamonds in their jewellery. This is one of my favourites. This is absolutely beautiful. I also have this one which is quite similar, kind of from the same range, which also has a very small opal on it and some tiny, tiny little diamonds on the band. And these look really nice paired together or worn apart. So yeah, so both of those are opal pieces that I've had for a few months now, and they are absolutely stunning if I want a slightly dressier look. I also have this ring from Linjer. Oh, this is one of my favourites. And I'm going to say this a lot because I really do love all these pieces, but yeah, this one in particular is such a gorgeous ring. This is a morganite stone with lab diamonds surrounding it, and it's that sunburst style. This is one of my favourite designs when it comes to rings. I think if I hadn't gone for a solitaire engagement ring, I probably would have gone for some kind of cluster starburst halo ring like this, because I think they're so pretty and they're quite timeless in their own way. They're a little bit art deco-y, I think. And because this one is morganite, it has a slight pinky stone, which I think is really beautiful because it's slightly rosy. If you wear rose gold jewellery, this would look beautiful with it, but equally it's neutral enough that it's not too much colour, because I don't always want really colourful stones. I think this one is also from Linjer. This is a tiny little diamond bezel ring. So this is set in a bezel, which means that the gold goes all the way around and fully encases the diamond. I like to pair this. I like to wear this usually on my middle finger, just like that. One of my favourite brands as well is Mejuri. I have a couple of rings from Mejuri. These two rings are also from their solid gold range. I think this is 14 carat, although it may be 18 carat. I'll have to let you know. But either way, it's a really nice tone of gold. Actually, it's very similar to the Linjer tone of gold in the 14 carat. Yeah, it's pretty much the same, so I imagine it is 14 carat. I have their dome ring, which is one of their best sellers, and I can totally see why. I think it's just a slightly more statement than some of the very dainty, simple band rings, but at the same time, you can easily wear this every day because it's just a piece of gold. I think they do a bigger version of this as well in the gold vermeil, but I love the solid gold version, and I love the size of this as well. It's just nice. It's just everyday, totally suitable for any occasion, but adds a little bit of thickness, a little bit of chunkiness that some of these dainty rings miss. And then this one is interesting. It's one of these looped rings, so it's 2 rings looped together like an infinity style, and then obviously you wear it as like a twisted, slightly asymmetrical ring like that. And again, these I do wish I'd got in a size up. I think I got these in a size 6, so they only really fit on my ring finger. They don't quite fit on my middle finger or my forefinger. I'm more of a 7 on those. So that's my only regret with these. I would definitely size up, because then I feel like if you get one slightly bigger and it fits your middle finger, you can still wear it on your ring finger usually, unless you have a big size discrepancy. But it allows you to just have more versatility, and you can even wear it on your thumb usually if you get the size for your middle finger. So that's a little tip with sizing. If you're not sure, I would go on the slightly bigger end rather than smaller, but I do still wear these a lot. I have some vintage rings as well, some rings that I've bought on eBay and pretty much just eBay. I did talk about a little bit about vintage jewellery in one of my recent videos, which I can leave linked, whichever side it is. But yeah, I do love to find vintage rings, especially on eBay. I find if you go to eBay, you get a much better deal if you're prepared to kind of do the research and I guess take a little bit of a risk on jewellery, rather than going to like a vintage seller. Vintage sellers are always obviously going to mark these pieces up because it's how they make a living. But if you go straight to eBay or even straight to a vintage fair, you can get some really affordable jewellery. So this ring I picked up on eBay. It's solid, I think it's 9 carat solid gold, although I could be wrong. It's got an opal in the middle. It's again one of these kind of cluster styles, starburst, sunburst, whatever you want to call it, styles. And then it's got, I can't for the life of me remember what these stones are. They're black stones. I can't remember what they are. Someone will know in the comments, let me know. But yeah, it's really beautiful. I really like this, and again, this fits mostly on my ring finger. So I would wear it like that, and I just love it, and I love that it's vintage. It has that slightly vintage, it kind of reminds me of Princess Diana ring, but it's the other way round, I guess, because hers was blue in the center. I think it was like a sapphire, and then I can't remember now, or was it? I can't remember. Anyway, it's got that kind of vibe. It's that shape at least. So yeah, that one is really pretty. And I think I paid about £100 for that, which for solid gold, big opal, and whatever these stones are, black opal maybe? I'm not sure. Oh, actually they're sapphires, aren't they? Duh. Okay. The only reason I wasn't thinking they were sapphires is because they're really, really dark blue. And I was kind of picturing sapphires being more of like a royal blue. But they are sapphires. So they're sapphires with an opal in the middle. But so yeah, for £100, really good deal. And you can find some amazing deals on eBay. You just obviously have to make sure you know what you're looking for, and you maybe know a little bit about jewellery to know how to read hallmarks and stamps, and you go with trusted sellers as well, that kind of thing. So those are all of the rings in my everyday section. I feel like this video is going to be really long. I'm going to talk you through some of my necklaces now, everyday necklaces. So if I wanted to layer up my Linjer fleur necklace with a few other pieces, then these are some of my everyday pieces. Although to be honest, I kind of choose a necklace from my bigger box just as often as I go for these. These just happen to be in here really. They're probably the ones I've worn most recently. One of my favourites is this snake chain. This I might not wear with the fleur because they're probably going to sit at about the same length. So one tip for layering necklaces is to go for different lengths, obviously, because that's going to sit better, and they're less likely to get tangled up if they're different lengths. But I really like this snake chain. This you can get pretty much anywhere. I know Linjer have one. I know Mejuri. This is Mejuri. Yep. This is gold vermeil, I think. But I just think it's a nice kind of slightly chunkier. Again, if you want something a little bit more statement, but still something very subtle. if that makes sense. Still timeless, but a little bit chunkier than something very delicate like the Linjer one. This is great, and I love the way it kind of moves. It's just an interesting texture. If you're wearing a plain white t-shirt, something with a higher neck, I always think these necklaces look amazing with something like a crew neck, something that covers so the necklace is sitting on the material rather than on your skin. I mean, it looks great on your skin as well, but I do think it really pops against like a white or a black top. So I love that. And then I also have a pearl necklace. This is another one I love to layer, because another tip for layering necklaces would be to choose different textures, because I find if you go for lots of like very dainty thin gold necklaces like this, it is very easy for them to get tangled up during the day. Whereas if you pair it with something like this, like a pearl necklace, because this is thicker and chunkier and just a different texture, it doesn't get tangled as easily. So you get that same layered look, but you don't have to worry about untangling them at the end of the day. This one, I cannot remember where this was from. It might be from Atelier, I think. Yes, it's from Atelier, it says on the little tag. Just a good kind of standard size, smaller size pearl necklace. When it comes to pearls, I do prefer going for a slightly smaller pearl, because I think it looks a little bit more modern than like a big thick string of pearls. I don't have one here, which I think again has that very kind of elegant classic look, but I tend to prefer something, in terms of necklaces at least, something a little bit more modern, and I think this size is really nice for every day. And then I also have this necklace, which is also a pearl on a gold chain. It's got these kind of bobbles on the chain, so a little bit of texture. It's slightly longer. This would look really good with my fleur necklace, I think, as an example of like a pendant necklace layered with it. This one is also from Atelier. If I can find all of these pieces, they will be linked down below. Some of them won't be available anymore, but what is still available to buy will of course be linked. But yeah, just a good, this is gold, I think this is gold plated, not gold for May. But so far so good. I've had this for about a year and there's no tarnishing on it so far. I would tend to go for gold vermeil though over gold plated. But yeah, I like that one as well. So those are some of the necklaces that are currently sitting in my everyday stack, but these change up pretty regularly. I don't really have, other than this necklace, I don't really have any necklaces that are kind of my go-to. They are one of the items of jewellery I like to change up on an almost daily basis, to be honest. I like to put on something different. I think because I have so many, I like to use them all and rotate between them. So those are some of those, and then I have a few miscellaneous pieces in here. Some chunkier pieces that sit in my everyday, mainly because they don't fit in the other cases. This bangle, this I always get questions about. I bought this year, but I don't think it's available anymore. It's from And Other Stories, so it is costume jewellery rather than, it's not sterling silver. I think it's silver plated nickel or something like that. It was only about £20. I bought it for an event and I've worn it quite a lot since. It's got this kind of, again, this, it looks like mother of pearl or moonstone, maybe moonstone. It looks like moonstone, but I don't think it is actually moonstone. I think it's resin or plastic. But it is like, it's nice for a statement piece if I'm wearing silver. This next pair of earrings are some of my favourites. These are from Cezanne. I was pretty gutted with these, to be honest, because they did end up breaking while I was on holiday. I have glued them back together. The little, like the stick that goes through your ear came off the back. And I actually saw someone on one of the Facebook groups had exactly the same thing happen to them. So I'm not very impressed with the quality for the price point, but I do really love them. They're just so beautiful. I think, especially if you have dark hair, they really pop against brown hair. And on holiday, they are perfect. I also have these statement earrings. These are also from And Other Stories. I do like And Other Stories costume jewellery if I want something for an event that I don't want to spend too much on. These are very pretty. These are also silver. They have the pearls on them as well. They are asymmetrical as well, which I quite like. It adds a little bit of interest to them. So the pearls on the bottom of this one and in the middle of this one. Really like those actually. I also have a silver bangle in here. I've had this for a couple of years. I think I've had this. This really needs polishing actually. But it will look fine after it's been polished. But yeah, it looks a little bit dingy at the moment. But I've had this for a couple of years. I think this was the first time I worked with Monica Vinader, which was about 2 years ago now. They gifted me this, and it's just a silver bangle. I might keep this on actually, with a tiny little diamond in the center. Really just kind of everyday pretty. This is solid sterling silver, so with a polish, it will look absolutely fine. I just haven't worn it in a while, so it is a little bit dull at the moment. But yeah, I really like that one. I have a few other Linjer earrings in here as well. I have actually quite a similar pair to the pair I'm wearing at the moment, which are slightly bigger in size to these ones. These are slightly littler. These are gold vermeil with little pearls on them. So if you don't like the size, if you want something a little bit smaller, they're a really good option. And then I also have these, these are actually from Missoma. These are little pearl huggy earrings, which are really cute because they sit just right on your ear. So they're very subtle, but because they have the pearl details on them, they add still a little bit of texture, a little bit of interest. I almost forgot my watch because it fell out at the beginning, but this is my current watch. I do have a few watches, but this is the one I'm wearing at the moment because it's the one I bought most recently. I bought this, I think I bought this in about March. It's the Seconda, kind of the Cartier dupe, to be honest. It is quite a small, more feminine watch with a rectangular face, Roman numerals on the face. It very much looks like the Cartier. I'm going to put this on again today. It looks like the Cartier Panthea watch. I think it's the Panthea. Yeah. But about what is it? Well, the Cartier one's about 3,000. I paid about 50 for this. So do the maths on how much it costs in relation to that one, a very tiny percentage. And honestly, I don't think I'm ever going to buy the Cartier one now. It was on my wish list at the beginning of the year, but unless I win the lottery, I feel like the Seconda one is actually just as nice, and no one from afar is going to be able to tell whether this is Cartier or Seconda, to be honest. So yeah, I would highly recommend, if you like the watch style but you don't like the Cartier price point, go with the Seconda. They do it in gold and they do it in a two-tone gold and silver, which I'm very tempted by as well. Okay, let us move on to my big stackers case. So I had this first and then it started to overflow, so I obviously expanded to my other two cases. But this one is really great because you can add to it. So you can add, I could add a third section down here. So if I wanted, like a bigger drawer or a different divider section, that's the whole point of stackers. If you haven't heard of them before, you can just add different layers. So this top layer is not really attached. You can just stack them on top of one another, hence the name. And then at this particular one, I have a see-through lid, as I said, so it's really easy to see what I have in there. So in the top section, I have just overflow pieces that I do wear every day, and then some that I don't. It tends to be more statement pieces. Some of my Cézanne pieces, for instance, these pipit earrings. Some of my favourite earrings from Cézanne. I would definitely get these in another colour at some point. I would love to get the burgundy colour. You guys know I love burgundy. But I went with the neutral kind of creamy ecru ones to start with, just because they obviously will go with anything, and I do absolutely love these. I don't love Cézanne jewellery in general. I think it is often quite overpriced for what it is, but I do like some of the earrings. I think if I was going to buy anything from Cézanne, it would definitely be earrings, because they pack the most punch often, and they do some really beautiful ones. But they are costume jewellery at the end of the day. These are also a statement piece. I took these on holiday with me recently because, as you'll see, they are shells, so they're just perfect for holiday. I think they're so pretty. These were sent to me, but I will put the name of the brand on screen. I can't remember it off the top of my head. It begins with an A, but it's a brand I'd never heard of before. But yeah, they do some really pretty jewellery, and these have little, like, I think they're not real diamonds. I don't think. No, they're not real diamonds. Like little stones, white stones on the bottoms, and then they are these really pretty gold shells. Just perfect for holidays, perfect for summer. These earrings I always get compliments on, and I always get questions about when I wear them in videos. Unfortunately, they are really old. These are some of my oldest statement earrings. These I bought in 2019 for an event I was going to, and yeah, as I said, I always get questions on them because they're really pretty, but they were just from Accessorize, which is a store in the UK, and yeah, they cost about £10, £12, something like that. They're not real gold or gold plated or anything. I don't know what they are. They're probably cheap brass or something like that, but they do pack a punch, and they've held up reasonably well, actually. There's not really any tarnishing on them considering they're 5 years old. So yeah, I still do wear those a lot, and as you can see, I love a drop pearl on an earring. These are my only bigger hoops. I don't wear these enough, actually. I should wear these more often. I forget I have them. They are kind of a larger hoop. These are from Monica Vinader. Get so confused with all the M brands, but Monica Vinader. And I do actually, you know, they would look quite nice with this outfit, actually. Just a plain white top, simple jewellery otherwise, and a more statement hoop. They're nice because they're slightly thinner, so even though they are bigger, they're still somewhat subtle, and they're a slightly hammered, I guess you would call, yeah, like a hammered effect. So they're not completely smooth. So again, something I love to add through jewelry is texture. So this kind of hammered gold design is really pretty. So those ones, as a reminder for me to wear those more often. What else do I have in here? I have like all sorts of stuff. I won't go through all of these because they're just kind of simple pieces, simple gold hoops. I have another pair of Linjer gold hoops. These ones are, oh, I got these ages ago. I think this was my second time that I worked with them, and they're a slightly more squiggly shape. So if you like a more organic, more modern shape as opposed to a traditional round hoop, these are really good. I have these, which are costume jewelry, definitely. I bought these in March when I went to the LTK gala. Just wanted something that was gala appropriate, something a little bit dressier than anything else I owned. And again, I picked these up in And Other... Did I pick these up in And Other Stories? Yeah, And Other Stories, I think. I just love And Other Stories, actually, especially for silver. I find most of their jewelry is silver. They definitely do some gold, but a lot of the statement stuff is silver, and I do think these are really pretty, but of course they are just costume jewelry. I think that's it in terms of earrings. I do also have these. I really like these, actually. These are from a brand called Fedoma, and these are really pretty. These are again pearls, but they're little bows. So if you like that very cutesy, very feminine look, these are adorable. And then finally, rings. I have loads of rings in here that don't quite make my everyday cut, but I still really love. I have some other vintage rings, actually. This one is really similar to the other one, but it's slightly smaller. Can you see that? It is an opal with sapphires in this flower. This is more of like a flower shape because it's round rather than oval. This one is gorgeous, same as the other one. Really, really lovely. And I also have this one, which is a little bit different. This one also could do with a bit of a polish. I think this is 9 karat gold. It has, I want to say an aquamarine. I think it's aquamarine in the center, and tiny little real diamonds around the edge. These were all from eBay. This one I remember was £100 exactly. It's a little bit small on that finger, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's probably, the only thing with vintage is obviously you need to get the right size, but you can get them resized, I guess. But yeah, I really like that. And then this one was a vintage ring I bought from Rock and Rose, which is my favourite brand for vintage jewellery. If you don't mind overpaying, because they definitely charge quite a lot, when I compared their prices to the prices I've paid for very similar vintage rings on eBay, they are probably like tripling the price, I'm not going to lie. But again, they're a beautiful business, small business. Their photography, their packaging, their customer service is all excellent. So that's what you're paying for. So I don't mind too much. And obviously sourcing, and you know, they really curate their collections. You don't have to wade through all the rubbish on eBay. They have beautiful curated collections. They drop them once a month. I bought this one from them about a year and a half ago now. This one, again, is this aquamarine or topaz? I'm terrible with stones. It might be topaz, blue topaz, or it might be aquamarine. I don't know. But it's, I think it's from like the 1910s or something like that. And it's 9 karat gold again. And if I want something that's like more of a cocktail style ring for an event or something, I really like that one. And then other rings I have, most of them are from Linjer. I have lots of Linjer's gold vermeil. If you have a smaller budget and you can't quite stretch for the solid gold, I would highly recommend the gold vermeil as well. It is equally beautiful. And all of mine have held up perfectly. There is no tarnishing on any of these rings. So I don't think you really have to worry about that, even though it is gold vermeil. And then finally, if you've made it this far, you get to see my necklaces, because I realised this video was probably about half an hour long already. But if you are still here, we can go into some of my favourite longer necklaces. So I have quite a collection in here that I've been collecting for 11 years, as I said. Oldest necklace in here, I think, is this one. This is a diamond necklace that I got for my 18th. This is on a... I think this is platinum, not silver. It's a simple kind of diamond pendant on a platinum chain, very timeless. I have, what else do I have in here? I have some slightly chunkier jewellery. This is from that brand that sent me the shell earrings. They also sent me this. It's like a medallion style necklace. I think this is really good for holiday as well. It has that Grecian vibe to it that's just so nice on a summer holiday. Very nice. I have my IDYL jewellery. So this IDYL necklace is something I got when I worked with them with the stud earrings. It's also diamonds in this pretty line. Don't know how else to describe that. It's 1, 2, 3, 6 diamonds in a little row. This is their bestseller, I think, and again, I can see why it's beautiful. I have my Cézanne necklace here, which I love as a more statement piece. Definitely not an everyday wear, but some outfits really call for this, and I feel like it does just complete certain outfits. I would definitely get this in more colours if I could justify the price. It is kind of expensive. I think this is about £75, and they do it in a new green that's come out, white, brick red. I love this necklace. I kind of wish I'd got a different colour. I don't know. I do like the yellow though. I think it's a little bit different for me because I don't have any yellow clothes. So it's quite nice to have some yellow accessories. You guys know I really want a yellow bag, but haven't bitten the bullet on that yet. This necklace is from Astley Clark. This is rose gold actually, and it's like a locket necklace. Astley Clark do a lot of these locket style necklaces. So you can open it. I don't have anything in there, but you can open it and put something in there if you wish. And I think this kind of locket style is a signature style for Astley Clark, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I know that they probably still sell something very similar to that. I was just looking at this and thinking it was just a plain chain and maybe the little pendant had come off of it. But no, the pendant is so small that I couldn't even see it to begin with. This is from Linjer. This is from Linjer? Yeah, I think this is from Linjer. Yes, I think it is. I will double check. But it is like the tiniest little diamond. I don't know if you can even see that. Can you see that against my hand? It's like the tiniest little diamond. So if you're like the queen of subtle, super subtle minimal jewellery, then you would love this because it is so small that you can barely see it. But I think it is so delicate. Would look really beautiful with my other necklace as well, just to add another super delicate one to the mix. But yeah, like the chain, even the chain itself, as you can see, it's so thin, and I think that's from their solid gold range. This one is a solid gold necklace. This is a hexagon. Yes, a hexagon with little diamonds as well. Again, quite a subtle one. Can you see that? Hopefully you can see that. It's just got tiny diamonds, solid gold, and what else do I have in here? This one's a little bit different. This one is colourful beads with pearls spaced between it. That's quite a nice layering one if you want to add a little bit of colour. I actually don't know where that's from. That was a gift, so I can't tell you where that is from. Finally, I've got this one, which I know is from Missoma. And this one, is this? No. Yeah, this is also a hexagon. Getting bad at my shapes now. Yes, that is a hexagon. You would not think I had a physics degree, but there you go. It's a hexagon on another of these kind of beaded chains. Can you see the beading? So I really like these chains actually. And this one's held up really well. This one is gold for May, but I've had this 4 or 5 years and it still looks really nice, and it's slightly longer, this one. This is one of my favourites to layer because it is slightly longer than a lot of my other ones. I don't know the exact length, but I imagine a lot of these are about 18 inches and this one is definitely like 20 or 22. So it just sits a little bit lower. So if you're wearing a shorter necklace, for instance, it would look good. With this one, it sits about here. So you get that nice layered effect and the different lengths. So yes, that one is from Missoma. That's not everything, but that's kind of enough probably to show you for today. I'm just checking. Yeah, there are a couple that aren't in here, so I'm guessing sometimes they do end up scattered around the house. I've got a little pearl bracelet here that I like to wear. I've got another necklace here. This is a necklace, let me show you. This one is solid gold and it's got a tiny little turtle on it. So if you like animals, this would be, I think they do different animals as well, not just turtles, but it's got, again, it's hard to show you from this distance, but it's got the tiniest little turtle on it. There you go. And that is solid gold. So I'll put that back there because that was in my little dish. I do tend to, if I take things off and I'm too lazy to open all this back up, I like to have a little dish just so I know it's safe and secure somewhere and it's not left around the house, because that's when things get lost. Okay, wow, that was a long video, I'm guessing. I feel like I've been talking for a long time. Have I been talking for 50 minutes? No, that can't be right. I'm hoping that is not right, otherwise I have to edit this down somehow to make it watchable for you. I really hope you enjoyed. If you stayed to the end, leave me an emoji. Leave me the ring emoji. If that's possible, leave me the ring emoji for jewellery so I know that you stayed until the end, because I'm very impressed if you did, because this was a very long video. I do have a lot of jewellery these days, but again, there are certain pieces that stand out in my collection, definitely, and that get the most wear. Things like this fleur necklace will just be on me constantly because it is so simple and such high quality that I know I don't have to fuss about it, I don't have to baby it, I don't have to worry about it, and that always gives me peace of mind with my jewellery. So yes, I would highly recommend Linjer. That discount code will be on screen as well as in the description box down below. The link takes you to my page on Linjer, which shows some of my collection, my favourites, so you can browse that there on the website as well. Thank you very much again to Linjer for sponsoring this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're all well. I will leave some other videos on screen if you're not done watching yet. Otherwise, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!